The high school bet that made me a cheer captain. I never expected high school to be exciting, let alone life-changing. Most days, I just tried to blend in, keep my head down, and make it through without embarrassing myself. If there was an award for being forgettable, I'd probably win it. I wasn't a total loser. I had my best friend, Zach, and a handful of people I talked to in class. But I wasn't one of the popular kids, the athletes, or the ones who made high school look effortless. My days consisted of school, video games, and half-heartedly doing homework while scrolling through social media, watching other people live the exciting lives I wished I had. Sometimes, I imagined what it would feel like to stand out for once. To walk down the halls and have people actually notice me. Not in a bad way. Not like when someone trips over their own feet in the cafeteria and becomes an instant meme. But in a way that mattered, like I belonged somewhere. But that wasn't me. I was just Evan Carter, an average junior at Crestwood High. The only person who refused to let me fade into the background was Zach. He had this way of pulling me into things I'd never dare do on my own. If there was ever an instigator of chaos in my life, it was him. "You need to do something wild, man," he'd say, usually while tossing a football in the air or scrolling through ridiculous TikTok challenges. "Something that'll make people remember you." I'd laugh it off, but deep down, I hated how invisible I felt. I hated that I never took risks. Then there was Savannah Brooks, cheer captain, homecoming queen, and basically royalty at Crestwood. She was the kind of person everyone knew. She had this effortless confidence, like she belonged in every room she walked into. We had a few classes together, but she'd never spoken to me. Why would she? I wasn't on her radar. At least, not until the day everything changed. It started as a joke. A stupid bet that Zach threw out at lunch, never expecting me to take the bait. But something inside me snapped. Maybe it was frustration. Maybe it was that deep, nagging feeling that I was capable of more than just being some background character in my own life. Whatever it was, I took the bet. And in doing so, I set off a chain of events that would make me question everything I thought I knew about myself. It happened on a regular Thursday at lunch, the kind of day that blurred into every other forgettable day. Zach and I were at our usual spot in the cafeteria, our table positioned just far enough from the popular crowd that we weren't completely invisible, but no one cared what we were doing either. Zach, ever the instigator, was scrolling through his phone, smirking to himself. "Dude," he said, nudging me with his elbow. "Check this out." I leaned over, expecting some dumb meme. Instead, it was a video of some guy in another school doing a cheer stunt, not just any stunt, but a perfect toe touch, dressed in a full cheer uniform, grinning like he belonged there. "Crazy, right?" Zach said. Apparently, he lost a bet, but the dude actually went through with it. Now he's, like, part of the team or something. I scoffed. "Yeah, well, good for him. Not really my thing." Zach smirked. "Oh, come on. You could totally pull that off." I rolled my eyes. In what world? Before I could shut the conversation down, Savannah Brooks, the Savannah Brooks, walked past our table, flanked by two of her cheer friends. She was laughing, her ponytail bouncing, exuding that effortless confidence she always did. And that's when Zach, the reckless idiot, decided to seal my fate. "I bet Evan could make the cheer team," he said loudly, too loudly. Savannah stopped mid-step and turned to look at us, arching an eyebrow. Her friends did the same. I felt my stomach drop. "Zach," I hissed. "Shut up." But it was too late. Savannah folded her arms, a slow smirk forming. "Is that so?" Zach grinned. "Yeah. I mean, he's got the legs for it." My face burned. "Dude!" Savannah tilted her head, studying me like she was actually considering it. "All right, Evan," she said, eyes gleaming with amusement. "Tryouts are next week. If you're serious, show up. Let's see what you've got." Her friends giggled as they walked away, and Zach turned to me, grinning like a madman. I was horrified. "What the hell did you just do?" I muttered. He clapped me on the back. "Dude, you're gonna be a legend." I had no idea if he was right. But for the first time in a long time, I felt something stir inside me, something terrifying and exhilarating all at once. I spent the rest of the day convincing myself that this was all some big joke, one I could ignore until it disappeared. Except it didn't. By the time I got home, my phone was blowing up. Zach had posted about the bet in our group chat, And now half the school seemed to know about it. Dude, you're actually trying out? No way. Can you even do a cartwheel? Savannah's gonna destroy you, LOL. I stared at the messages, my stomach in knots. What had I gotten myself into? I considered backing out, but that nagging voice in the back of my head wouldn't let me. The one that had always whispered that I was capable of more, that maybe I had something inside me that was worth noticing. Still, self-doubt was a powerful thing. The next day at school, I tried to act like nothing had changed, but it had. People were watching me now, staring, whispering. It wasn't full-blown attention, but it was enough to make me uncomfortable. I was about to tell Zach that I was done, that this wasn't funny anymore, when Savannah cornered me after chemistry class. So, she said, leaning against my desk with her arms crossed, are you actually going to show up, or was that just a bluff? I swallowed hard. She raised an eyebrow. Because if you're serious, you should at least start practicing. We don't do pity invites on the squad. I hated how easily she could get under my skin. I never said I couldn't do it. Savannah smirked. Good. Because I just told Coach Carter you'd be at tryouts. I gawked at her. You did what? She winked. See you at practice. And just like that, I was trapped. That afternoon, I stood outside the gym, debating whether to just go home and pretend none of this had happened. But then, out of nowhere, a voice behind me said, You coming in, or are you just going to hover like a creep? I turned to see Mia Torres, one of the senior cheerleaders, watching me with a knowing smirk. I don't know if this is a good idea, I admitted. Mia shrugged. Probably not. But you already agreed, and Savannah's not the type to let people back out. I exhaled sharply. I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously, she said. But no one does when they start. You think I was flipping around like a pro my first day. I hesitated. Why are you being nice to me? She smirked. Because I like an underdog story. And because, if I'm being honest, I think you could actually pull this off. I blinked at her. What? Mia leaned in conspiratorially. You're flexible, you're not super tall, and you've got the right build. Plus, no offense, but the way you walk? You've got natural cheer energy. I frowned. What's that supposed to mean? By the time it ended, I was drenched in sweat, my arms and legs aching. Mia walked up, tossing me a water bottle. You survived, she said. Barely. I groaned. I looked like an idiot. Yeah, a little, she admitted. But you didn't quit. That's something. I sighed, staring at the rest of the squad as they practiced stunts with ease. I don't think I can do this. Mia tilted her head. Do you want to? The question caught me off guard. Did I? I'd spent so long playing it safe, never stepping outside my comfort zone. And yet, standing here, sweaty and exhausted, I felt alive in a way I hadn't before. I swallowed hard. I don't know. Mia smirked. Good. That means you're thinking about it. And for the first time, I really was. If I thought my first practice was hard, the next few weeks were brutal. Every muscle in my body ached from drills, stunts, and conditioning. My legs felt like jelly after endless jump sequences, and my arms burned from holding poses longer than I thought humanly possible. I nearly broke my wrist trying to land a back handspring and got laughed at when I face-planted during a simple toe touch. But the physical struggle was nothing compared to the mental battle. People talked. In the hallways, in the locker room, online. Is he serious about this, or is it just a joke? Bet he just wants to hang around girls in skirts. Why would a guy even want to be a cheerleader? At first, I tried to ignore it, but no matter how hard I pushed, the whispers got to me. One afternoon, after another grueling practice, I found myself alone in the locker room, staring at my reflection in the mirror. My hair was damp with sweat, my cheeks flushed. I looked different, stronger maybe, but also softer somehow. The way I moved, the way I carried myself, it wasn't the same as before. Was that a bad thing? I wasn't sure, but apparently, others had made up their minds. Yo, Ethan. I turned to see Zach and a couple of the guys from our usual group standing by the doorway. You've been dodging us, man, Zach said, arms crossed. What's up with that? I shrugged, grabbing my bag. Just busy. One of the other guys snickered. Busy doing what? Learning how to shake your ass. My jaw tightened. Come on, bro, Zach added. We're just messing with you. But, like, are you actually taking this cheer thing seriously? I swallowed. Yeah, I am. The room fell silent. Zach let out a short laugh, shaking his head. Dude, you don't have to prove anything. We get it, you lost the bet. You can back out. No one's gonna care. But I would, because somewhere along the way, this had stopped being just about the bet. I liked the challenge, the structure, the energy of the team. I liked how it made me feel. Stronger, lighter, freer. I clenched my fists. I'm not backing out. Zach's smile faltered. Wait, you're actually serious? The disbelief in his voice stung more than I wanted to admit. Yeah, I said, voice firm. I am. The guys exchanged glances, muttering under their breath. One of them let out a low whistle. Man, that's kinda weird. Guess we know who's wearing the skirt to homecoming, another joked. They laughed. Zach didn't. He just looked at me, something unreadable in his expression. Then he sighed, shaking his head. Whatever, dude. Do what you want. And just like that, they walked out. I stood there, gripping the strap of my bag, so tightly my knuckles turned white. I told myself it didn't matter, that I didn't need their approval. But it hurt. I didn't show up to practice the next day, or the day after. I told myself I was just taking a break, but deep down I knew the truth. I was scared. Scared of what people thought. Scared of how I was changing. But then, on the third day, I got a text from Mia. You quitting or what? I stared at the screen, hesitating before replying. I don't know. A minute later, she sent another message. Meet me at the gym. Now. I sighed but found myself slipping on my sneakers anyway. When I got there, Mia was waiting with a determined look. All right, she said, tossing me a practice uniform. Put this on. I frowned. What? She crossed her arms. You need to decide. Either you're in or you're out. And if you're in, you need to stop half-assing it. I hesitated. Then, slowly, I took the uniform. I didn't realize how much I wanted this until now. Until I almost lost it. The night of the big game arrived faster than I expected. Under the glaring stadium lights, with the roar of the crowd vibrating through my chest, I stood at the center of the cheer squad. Not in the background, not as a joke, but as a leader. I had earned this. The past few weeks had been an emotional battlefield, but through every ache, every doubt, every whispered insult in the hallways, I had pushed forward. I wasn't just surviving this bet anymore, I was owning it. The uniform clung to me like a second skin, black and gold, the school colors, bold and unapologetic. My muscles, once stiff and clumsy, moved with a newfound grace. Every motion sharp, every jump powerful. The nerves that once tangled in my gut before every practice had melted into a strange, exhilarating rush. Ethan, Mia whispered beside me, her eyes shining with pride. You ready for this? I grinned, adjusting my stance. Let's do it. As the game kicked off, we launched into the first routine, our voices cutting through the night air like a battle cry. I nailed the jumps, hit every stunt with confidence, and when it came time for the tumbling pass, I didn't hesitate. I sprinted forward, the crowd blurring into a sea of color. One flip, two flips. I landed cleanly, the roar of the crowd exploding around me. For the first time in my life, I wasn't just blending in. I wasn't just the guy who lost a bet. I was here. I was seen. I was unstoppable. And the best part, I loved it. From the sidelines, I spotted Zach in the stands, watching with an unreadable expression. But instead of the mockery I had expected, there was something else in his eyes, something that almost looked like respect. I didn't need his approval, but knowing that I had changed the way people saw me, that was power. At the end of the routine, the squad huddled together, breathless and elated. Mia grabbed my shoulders, shaking me with excitement. Dude, that was insane. You killed it, Ethan, another teammate cheered. I let out a breathless laugh, the weight of every doubt, every fear, every moment of insecurity lifting from my shoulders. I had stepped into this world as a bet, but now I was Ethan Carter, cheer captain in the making. The gym was packed, the noise almost deafening as students filled the bleachers for the pep rally before the championship game. This was the moment that would define everything. I stood at the front of the cheer squad, gripping my pom-poms so tightly my knuckles turned white. The past few weeks had been a whirlwind of whispers, challenges, and self-doubt, but I had fought through every single one of them. And now I wasn't just here. I was about to lead. I glanced at Mia, who gave me a nod of encouragement, and then at Coach Harper, whose approving smile told me I had earned the spot. "All right, let's show them what we've got," I called out, my voice strong and steady. The squad erupted into action. The routine was fast, demanding, and intricate, a combination of everything we had trained for. But this time, I wasn't just following along. I was setting the pace. We hit the motions with precision, our voices ringing through the gym. Every flip, every stunt was flawless. The energy of the crowd surged, their cheers shaking the walls, but the real test was coming. The final stunt. I took my place as the flyer, a position I had never imagined I'd be in when this all started. Zach's voice echoed in my head from weeks ago. "You're not a cheerleader. You're a joke." No, not anymore. The bases steadied me as I was lifted into the air. The moment stretched, heart pounding, hands gripping tight, and then I soared. The air rushed around me as I twisted into a perfect full-twist basket toss, body spinning effortlessly before landing securely back in the base's hands. The gym exploded. I heard nothing but the roar of the crowd, the chant of my name. "Ethan! Ethan! Ethan!" Tears stung my eyes, but I laughed instead, pure adrenaline and joy coursing through me. I had done it. Not just the routine, not just the stunt. I had proven to everyone, including myself, that I belonged here. As we dismounted and took our final pose, Mia tackled me into a hug, her excitement mirroring my own. Zach stood in the front row, staring at me, his expression unreadable. But then, to my surprise, he clapped. Not mockingly, not out of obligation. Genuine applause. I had won the bet weeks ago. But this was something so much bigger. I wasn't just some guy who had lost a stupid challenge. I was a cheerleader, and I wouldn't trade this feeling for anything in the world. The championship game had been a massive success, but for me, the real victory wasn't just the trophy our team brought home, it was the person I had become along the way. The Monday after the pep rally, I walked through the halls of Lincoln High with my head held high. For the first time in my life, I wasn't trying to blend in or disappear. I wasn't afraid of the whispers or the lingering glances, because now, I belonged. I passed by some of the football guys who once would have laughed me out of the locker room. Instead, Chris, the team captain, threw me a nod. "Nice work out there, man. Didn't know you had it in you." I smirked. Guess we both underestimated me. The biggest surprise, though, was Zach. He had been my biggest critic, but ever since the pep rally, something had shifted. That afternoon, he found me at my locker. I was wrong," he muttered, looking at the ground. "You proved me wrong." I raised an eyebrow. "About what?" "That I couldn't do it. That I wasn't a real cheerleader." He sighed. "Yeah, and about you. I thought this was just a joke to you. But you worked your ass off, and you're actually really good." I crossed my arms. "So what? You want me to say no hard feelings?" He exhaled. "I don't expect that. But I do respect you." That was enough. Later, at practice, Mia grinned as we went through our new routine. "So, now that you've officially survived cheer initiation, think you'll stick around?" I didn't even have to think about it. I'm not going anywhere. For the first time in my life, I knew exactly where I was meant to be. And it felt damn good. Looking back, I never could have imagined that a stupid bet would change my life. But it wasn't just about winning or proving people wrong. It was about proving something to myself, that I was stronger, braver, and more capable than I had ever believed. Stepping outside my comfort zone taught me that sometimes the things we fear the most are the things that set us free. I found confidence in a place I never expected. I found friendship in people I once thought were nothing like me. And most importantly, I found myself. So, to anyone afraid of taking that first step, of embracing something new, something different, just remember, you don't have to fit into a box that others build for you. Because the moment you stop worrying about what people think, that's the moment you start to fly.